To me, the structure of a duct tip does change a little bit just because your apex stays the same, but your center is a little bit different because your edges flare outward. So I will go in first sidewall to sidewall as you normally would. To me, duct tips don't deserve a apex because the center is a little bit different because the free edge is flared out. So I'm not really making it a huge point to get a really structured apex because I understand that the nail is going to be supported because I have a wider tip. I'm bringing my acrylic down, and before I allow it to set, I'm sharpening up my lines before I even get to the corners. I'm leaving those alone. But my middle from here to here, I'm just making sure it's not over the edge and it's not coming over. When I say coming over, I mean just like that. You see how that's out of whack? I'm pushing it back so that it remains really straight. Cleaning my sidewalls because I have a little bit of flooding right here. And you can already see the natural apex that has happened from just me applying my product. Cuticle bead will be next. It's going to be really small. Again, I have a pretty sound apex. You can see it's thinner here. That's okay though, because I'm going to be applying a bead in that area. Cuticle bead is applied and it's going to get pushed back into the area where it's needed. All the way over to the corner. Same thing with this side. You see how this side isn't pushed all the way? I'm going to take it, place it where it needs to be, and then blend into the work I've already done. So you see it's natural at the cuticle. My apex is here. I do need a bead here, but that bead is going to be the same one I put to make my really crisp edge. You can see how it's flared, but it's not sharp and pointy. So this bead is obviously the focal point of having duck or like flared nails in general. I'm going to saturate my brush. You can see how damp my brush is. It's full of monomer. I'm going to take a pretty decent sized bead. Because you have a lot more space and it's flared out, you want a big enough bead that when you press, you have enough room for it to spread it out just like so. And you want it to be dry. The drier the bead, the more you're going to be able to tell the bead what to do as opposed to it running around everywhere. So you can see the bead's not going anywhere, but it's more than wide enough. So let's blend out to what we already have first before we lose that. Just like that. Pointing the finger downward. Let's catch our sides up. Let's catch the other side. Just like that. Now we're going to work on the free edge part of it. Patting it, patting it. We still have a lot more time to work with this. So I'm going to get the underneath and this underneath, because that's just extra that we don't need. And we're going to pat it out. Get some monomer so we're able to move it. And push it over just a little and shape it into place. And once that bead is still really wet because I'm adding monomer to it, onto my brush, onto the acrylic. So now I'm able to really take it and create a sharp edge. Just like that. You can see it's thick underneath, which is fine. That's totally fixable. You can see how it kind of all comes together from the side profile. I don't have a whole bunch running over. A little, but not a whole lot. And once it's really dry, it's still moldable. So even if you want to go in and still fix, you can. But that is the crisp line I like to achieve when doing my duct tips. Once my nail has fully cured, I'm going to show you how to file this because it can get a little tricky. I'm going to start with, just because my biggest mistake is this part right here, and making it flush with that and taking that excess away. To me, in my opinion, that just allows me to see like my actual mistakes. So just from that, you can see how much more I have a curve on this side, and a pretty flat line. So because I want to leave my apex alone, I'm not really even going to touch that. I'm just going to take my file and feather it over just to get everything even. And I'll take that technique all the way down to the free edge, not touching my corners. Around the cuticle, kind of. This is a brand new file, so I do be careful because a new file could literally cut you up. Just like that. I like to see, you can just tell how I just brought everything together. Taking a extra fine 5-in-1 drill bit on the lowest speed, going around my cuticles. Now, that is more than enough in my opinion. I will say one thing about duct tips is they don't need a lot of filing and shaping because the tips do a lot of the work. You want to keep that curve. And again, it's your personal preference. So if you want to put your own style and flair to it, by all means. But I'm just going to cut all this out right here. Get under just a little bit more because I see it can use a little work. And I'm going to take my free edge with a little sharper. Just like that. In my opinion, that's how crisp I would want to leave the salon chair. So now I want to go back and do the underneath. After I've cleaned up that free edge underneath and thinned it out, I'll take my file just in case I accidentally touch the top and go over it once again. But you could tell I have a nice thinned out free edge. It doesn't look thick and bulky. This is my side profile.